Well, hello, hello. This is the Susanne McAllister podcast, and I am also coming to you on my YouTube channel. So every week, I'll be dropping a new episode on Saturday in the podcast and on YouTube. And it's all about anxiety. It's about becoming unstoppable. It's about helping your children and helping yourself having your best life. All right, so let me get right into this. So today we're going to talk about parenting and is it your fault? You might have been caught off by this title because you might be thinking, absolutely, is it not my fault? Because I am really doing my best as a parent. I am reading about anxiety. I'm talking about anxiety. I'm helping my child. Maybe you even got a therapist for your child. You've been talking to school. So, whatever it is, you've been trying your best. And you might even be offended by me asking this question. Is it all your fault? And believe me, I am a parent, obviously. I'm Susanne McAllister, and I am the host of the YouTube channel. I'm the host of the Susanne McAllister podcast. I am a therapist, a counselor. I'm a nutritional therapist, a yoga teacher, mindfulness teacher. I'm very much into positive psychology and into wellness and a holistic wellness. I've been working in the anxiety field for about 10 years now, and I read everything about it, all the studies, and I have to tell you, it's not getting better for our kids at the minute because 25% of all teenagers um, have been found to have a diagnosable, how is like that word, anxiety disorder. So let's dive into this and why on how we can help and what does it have to do with us and our parenting style and are there things that we can do better. And I just want to tell you a little bit about my own story. So I've had anxiety all my life. I did not know. I my upgrowing. I said even know it. My upgrowing. I grew up in in Germany. I didn't know my parents till I met my mom when I was 10. I met my dad when I was 12. So that was childhood trauma, and I was always somebody that was overthinking. And I was just telling that story actually because I teach counseling. I was telling this to my students last week that my grandfather, who raised us, who I loved and adored, and he did the best that he could. And that's the big thing. Is like if we do the best that we can with the best tools that we have, then that's a good thing. Then we're doing our best. And my grandfather used to threaten us if we did something wrong. So it was like me and my brother. My brother is 2 years older than me. He's a bit rowdier. And I had to be the good girl and behave until I then became a teenager and my grandfather passed away. And then that all went out of the window and I went as wild as you can get. But so my grandfather would say, well, I'm going to just bring you to the orphanage. So that was his threat to us. And I was terrified, terrified. He was also old school and he like, yeah, physical disciplining. But, I loved him. I respected him. He was my hero because he took me and my brother in, and so was my grandmother. So I'm always grateful. But yeah, I did not know that I had anxiety until I actually studied this many years ago. And like all counseling students, we had to do all these tests. We know on the website, oh yeah, have you got anxiety? Have you got depression? So we get to know the things, the tools how we help our clients. And I was like, oh, right, all these questions. I'm like, yeah, does not everybody think like that? So anxiety was just one of the things that I had struggled with. I thought everybody was overthinking. Everybody, like my thing is probably well, like trying to control the environment so then not to end up in an orphanage. So yeah, so there's many things there. But as I say, my grandparents, they were amazing in their own right. Yes, they weren't without fault. They were way too old to take us in, and I try to be the parent to my daughters. So I've got two girls, they're 21 and 25 nearly. I try to be the perfect mom to them. And I can tell you, they would tell you as well, I'm absolutely not the perfect mom, but they can also tell you that I've always loved them. I always try to give them the best. And I always try to um, get them to talk to me. And they did not like that. But all right. So let's get into this, dive into this, because there are some things that we as parents do that is not helpful when you have a child, and that actually might increase or even cause anxiety in a child. So I tell you just a few things about the things that we do, and then I'll talk about also a bit like a little bit broader into the general view why it is actually that our children are so anxious. Let's actually start there. Because anxiety is natural and is normal, and we actually need some. So, anxiety is this where we're in our fight or flight, and we're either thinking, are we coming? Are we going? Are we running? Are we fighting? Are we fawning? Is a new one where we're like, how do I bend myself and what do I do to avoid whatever the danger is? Freeze is also where you're like just you can't move. Like yeah, the deer in the headlight comes up for that. And then all the fight. Are we going to fight that sable tiger that came to us and threatened our children to the cave? So all of that is still in our genetic makeup. We have that all the time. Or will I run away like crazy? So our bodies they get into uh, the spirit of whatever response or it's a reaction, not a response we are choosing, or we think about what is the best before you actually run. So the problem is that nowadays, and when you have anxiety, you are nearly constant, or when you get so anxious, you're in constant fight or flight mode, where everything seems scary, everything seems frightening, and our bodies react like that as well. Like all the blood rushes into the heart. It comes away from the digestive system, so it just goes ready for us to fight or flight, so that we have the best. It's all a survival instinct, but your subconscious does not understand. Is this like something on TV where you watch the latest crime show? Is this something where the kids are watching um, whatever they watch on YouTube? Is it one of the games? Are they playing Fortnite on the computer and thinking like they have to shoot somebody or somebody shoots them? So they are constantly on this stress, this stress, this stress. And so also this is like an addiction to the stress hormone that gets poured out into your blood. So there's that. So that was just a little explanation about what anxiety is. And so, what is going on in our world that our children are so much more anxious. And so, as I say, some anxiety is normal and we need it. We need it so that that we're propelling ourselves forward, that we know what to do, that we know if there's a car coming towards us, we have to, well, fighting doesn't make any sense. We have to jump in a hedge to save ourselves. So we do need this anxiety. We need because it makes us alert, it makes us sharp, it makes us quick on our feet, it makes us think, what do we need to do now in this moment? And but when the danger is over, and the danger shouldn't be a constant chronic stress on ourselves. So this was meant as if the danger is over. So you've either gotten rid of the cortisol, the stress hormone in your body by fighting, and you won because you survived, and then you'll be like, whew, exhausted. Then you're depleted. So then you'd need to fuel up again, and your body would crave sugar, fat, carbs to so for your stores to be fueled up again. So this is why that happens as well. This is why we overeat when we're in stress. But all right, so this is just for you to know that some anxiety is actually it's necessary and is needed in our life. But what is too much? So too much is when it's constant, it's every day, when your child withdraws from social things, when your child just wants to be in the room, when the child doesn't want to go anywhere. Everything is a problem. It doesn't want to, like the teenagers, like driving anxiety to go to social things, even to meet their friends, even to a phone call is a big thing because it's all over text, it's all over messenger. So a phone call, when you say, well, can you phone, can you go out to the bar and order and get them to bring some water to us? It's a big thing because the social interactions are getting smaller and smaller, the face-to-face ones, where our children are learning the manners, where they're learning the being out there, talking to strangers, stranger danger, because we protect them so well. All right. So um, let me just talk about 6 things that good parents do that will or could potentially make your child more anxious than he or she is now. And I've done all of them. I'm going to give you some examples. So don't feel bad because there is a fine line between these things. All right. So one is where we're overprotecting them, where we don't let them take risks. We're just, the helicopter parents where we're like constantly hovering over them and we try and take everything, not from them, but we try to just protect them from, because we think like we might have had a rough time and we might have had lots of things happen in our life. So we might think, and I was definitely like that. I was like definitely overprotective. Like when my children were little, we lived in well, my oldest daughter Caroline, she was born in England, and it was during the time when these two girls, there was 2 girls that were killed in by the groundsman in the school, and I was definitely overprotective. Then we moved to Spain, and that was when Maddie McCann was kidnapped from her hotel room with her parents just being very close by eating in a restaurant, and I was definitely overprotective. I would never leave them. I was, you know, we had an au pair at that time as well. So, but the thing was, they were never left. I would always take the au pair, take the kids wherever we would go, wherever me and my late husband would go, the kids would go, the au pair would go. And so we were a really, really close family, and I kind of loved that. But if we overprotect our children and we care too much, then that can be a problem. When your child comes home from school and she has a problem with a friend and you are trying to, so that's number one, where you are. Oh, that was number two. So one is like, so overprotecting our children, and the second is standing up too much for your children, because we want to come from a strength-based perspective, which means we want to believe that our children have all the tools within them that they need to solve their own problems. And it's your job as a parent to provide them with the tools, to teach them communication, to teach them how to stand up for themselves in an assertive way, not in an aggressive way. So these are all things that we kind of learn by doing as a parent as well, because we want to protect our children. We don't want to see them hurt. They're like the apple of our eye. They're the most important things in our lives, like, especially as moms. Like the mama bear thing. When the mama bear comes out, oof, better run. And my girls call it like, oh, when scary mom comes out. Apparently I do the blink. I'll give them a stare. I have no idea. But yeah, so number one was protecting, and number two is just standing up for your children too much that they can't actually sort themselves out. And number three is overplaying their strengths. And you might be thinking, what's going on? This is a strength base where we're looking for the strength. and then we're like talking about the strength, so that we don't look at anything that is not perfect about our children. But when we overplay their strength, we have these expectations on them, and we put the focus on that things like, yes, uh, I've actually been working with a child, and so everybody plays football in that family, and he's actually really good at playing football. But that's and the dad and the mom, because in so in the academic, and like, he's not that great. But then so the mom and the dad, they like just talk about the football, and he's good at football, and he's good at football, and football is his thing, nothing else is his thing. But that's kind of programming him as well, that that's his thing. And now he doesn't even want to play football anymore, because he feels that he's lost the joy in it, because he feels that he has to perform, that he has to be good, that has to be his thing that he's good at. And yeah, otherwise that's not good. So overplaying their strengths, that they feel that that's the thing, and they have to be good at this now all the time. And then this is going to be a big one, because it's your values. So, if you are a good parent, and if you're still listening to me, I'm sure that you are, that you're doing your best, then you'd have a set of values that you live your life by. There's actually been some research on this in teenagers that have committed suicide, and it's very, very shocking to have found that some teenagers, they would rather take their own life than for their parents to find out that they have done something wrong. In that case, it was like sending naked pictures, nude pics, to somebody. That is a worry. So it's amazing that we all have strong values that we live by, but our kids, they have to be allowed to mess up. We all messed up. We all messed up. I messed up big times. I got myself nearly killed when I was 17. I messed up so bad, but I didn't. I'm still here. I'm here to tell the tale. And because I did go wild, I did mess up. I did so many things that, I'm so glad that my children didn't do that, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But um, that is one of the things where we're like, yeah, if this is your values are so strong, but they're allowed to mess up. You want that. I always say to my girls, you can talk to me about anything. There's nothing that's gonna make me love you less, or that's gonna, make me think bad things about you, or anything else. Anything, anything goes. Just talk to me. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. All is good. So your own values. So that's a very big one, so that they can mess up. And the other one is hiding your troubles from your children. And when I look back at that, after my husband passed, which is like 9 years now, and my oldest daughter was 16 then, and the youngest was 12 even then, when he passed. It was um, no, 15 and 12. It was I just had this focus on the least damage to the children, the least damage to my girls. I have to be mother, father, provider. I have to do everything for them to have the least damage. So it would scare them if they see me falling apart. That would scare them. And I only remember one situation actually where I was just sobbing in bed uncontrollably, and that was like during the day. I'd keep it all in. I'd like would go like 150 miles an hour for years. And my avoidant of pain was always busyness, and looking after everybody else. So yeah, I don't know if you identify with that, but you're just hiding all your troubles from your children is not the best way for them to learn, to how to do life properly, because um, and they don't understand what's going on. And also, they have a sixth sense. Kids know. The kids that I work with, I sometimes work with children when the parents are saying, "Yeah, we've been fighting, and we're actually thinking about getting a divorce, or just trial separating." But like little Max doesn't know; he doesn't know anything. And then I speak to Max, and he's like, "Oh, they're always fighting. I think they're going to get a divorce. Are they going to get a divorce?" Because our children, they are so clever and they're so in tune. So these are just a few points where good parents can can cause more anxiety in children, and it's such a fine line. This is why I'm addressing in my upcoming course on the Unstoppables, which is a course about anxiety. It explains anxiety. We're looking at all the holistic ways how you can help yourself and your child, and it's coming up. So there's a link underneath here if you want to get on the wait list. It's going to launch in August, the 1st of August. Not yet, but this is gonna it's gonna be my first beta program, so you can get into that and get on the wait list now and be one of the people that are actually getting into this course first. There's a limited amount of people that I can take because I want to do a really, really, really good job with that. All right. So the other thing that I wanted to talk general about, why is anxiety happening so much more in the world? And of course, through all we do know, you would know that the social media thing, with social media around, like everybody, the children, there's never any switch off. There's never any switch off unless you make it happen. And there's like strong rules in your house. And that gets harder when they're teenagers, because then they're rebelling, and the more you want to take their devices away or switch the devices off, the less that happens. That's also a thing in my course that we're going to address. It's called YOMO, the joy of missing out, compared to FOMO, the fear of missing out. So social media plays a big role in anxiety in children, but it's also the transference of the parent. So if you are an anxious parent, you might transfer your anxiety to your children. I definitely had that conversation with my daughter, even this week, and we talked about that. And I know that my anxiety transferred to her. See, I did not make the perfect parent, even trying to overprotect him and rally around and do everything that I could. I did crack, crack up. And I transferred my anxiety, at least to my youngest. I'm not sure about my oldest. Social media, and then of course we have COVID. Don't have to tell you why that would increase anxiety in people, because it's all fear based. It's the fear of death that comes. It's the fear of somebody that they love dying. It's the fear of the world going down. It's like so fear based. So as much as I'm saying, don't hide your troubles from your children, but also I wouldn't let them sit there and watch the news channel with you for 10 hours. And it's about really finding that way where you can explain things to them that's on their level, on their ground, so they understand about what is going on. But it's also not fear based. It's like, look for now. So that's where my mindfulness training always comes in, and where I teach some breathing exercises, and where I look at it holistically. We also look about strengthening the immune system. I'm also looking into, and I'm going to explain about which supplements might help for anxiety. So, yeah, so I'm super excited. This course will be coming up and launching in August. So is it all your fault? What do you think? I don't think it's all your fault, but there's definitely things where we can look at and we think, okay. There's so many things I wish I had understood and known then, when my children were smaller. And so I hope that I'm giving you a little bit of hope here. There's hope, there's things that you can do. And as I said, like if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching my YouTube channel, it's a very, very it's very likely that you are a very good parent trying to do the best for your child. And there's so many things that you can do. And just keep following me, listening to the podcast every week, watch the YouTube channel on here. I do give tips for this. And also follow me on social media. And we have MIPS, Mindful Parent Squad group, where we also support each other. That's it from me for today. And it is an anxiety epidemic there. So it is very important that you know what's going on with your child. If in doubt, there's parent helplines that are 24 hours. There's kids helpline for your child to ring as well. So please do seek the help that you can get. There's so much out there. I take one-on-one clients. I only take a specific number because there's only so many spots that I have. But you can talk to me about that as well if you're interested. All right. So this is it from me for today. And next week, we'll diving more into solutions. So keep tuned and I'll see you there. Bye.